You wouldn't believe it, but some brand new SUVs are losing nearly half their value in less than a year. I'm not talking about EVs, I'm talking about regular gas-powered SUVs that most people think are safe, reliable investments. Dealers and glossy ads want you to believe that buying new equals security, but the reality is brutal, and I've seen it firsthand. I've been turning wrenches for over 20 years, and there's a pattern that almost every buyer misses. Flashy redesigns, luxury badges, or big engines don't protect you from massive depreciation. Some owners walk into a dealership thinking they've secured a $60,000 SUV, and a year later, they're staring at a trade-in value barely over $30,000. Today, I'm revealing the 10 SUVs in 2026 that are collapsing in value faster than most people can imagine. These are the ones mechanics quietly warn each other about, the models that can ruin your finances before you even finish paying your loan. Stick around, because by the time we hit number 1, you'll see the kind of SUV that even seasoned buyers avoid, and why missing this information could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. If you want to buy smart and avoid getting trapped in a sinking investment, this is the video you cannot afford to skip. Here's the harsh truth. Most SUV buyers are setting themselves up for financial disaster without even realizing it. They chase the shiny luxury badges, convinced that a nameplate alone guarantees quality, while completely ignoring reliability data and long-term costs. Dealers love this. They push features, fancy interiors, and flashy trims, knowing you'll pay more than the vehicle is actually worth. I've seen it hundreds of times in my shop. A brand new SUV purchased for $70,000, and a year later, the owner is facing a resale value barely half that. That's money disappearing faster than most people can track. Today, I'm exposing the countdown of 10 SUVs that are collapsing in value right now. Vehicles that mechanics quietly avoid and warn each other about, but the dealers will happily sell to unsuspecting buyers. Stick with me, because each one on this list has a story of massive depreciation. And by the time we hit number 1, you'll see the SUV that could destroy your finances if you don't know what to watch for. All right, here's how this countdown works. We're going to start with number 10 and work our way down to number 1. And trust me, each SUV on this list is worse than the last when it comes to losing value. Some of these vehicles are already worth less than a 5-year-old compact car, even though they rolled off the lot just a year ago. I've seen owners in shock, mechanics shaking their heads, and dealers quietly shrugging because it's all part of the game. But the real jaw-dropper? The number 1 SUV on this list is so bad that even seasoned mechanics steer clear of it. Stick around, because the closer we get to the top, the more shocking the depreciation stories become, and you'll want to see every single one to make sure you don't get caught in the trap. Starting off our list at number 10 is the 2025 Buick Enclave. On paper, it looks like a solid luxury 3-row SUV. Big engine options, a smooth ride, and a modern interior. But here's the reality. Its value is already collapsing faster than most buyers can blink. The combination of a high price tag, early reliability complaints, and massive fleet saturation from rental companies has flooded the used market. One of my customers bought a 2025 Enclave for $50,000, and when he went to trade it in just 12 months later, the dealer offered barely $25,000. He was stunned, and honestly, I couldn't blame him. What dealers won't tell you is that this SUV's redesign swapped out the proven 3.6-liter V6 for a smaller 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder, which sounds efficient on paper but delivers weak performance and jerky shifts in real-world driving. Combine that with transmission complaints already popping up, and you have a recipe for massive depreciation. And that's just the start. Wait until you see number 9, where the value drops even faster and the problems are even more shocking. Coming in at number 9 is the 2025 Infiniti QX80. Infiniti tried to reinvent this full-size SUV with a twin-turbo V6, flashy styling, and updated tech, but But all that polish couldn't save it from a rapid value collapse. In just 3 years, owners are losing over 50% of what they paid, and the depreciation is accelerating. I had a client bring one in who spent $85,000 new, and after only 14 months, resale estimates hovered around $40,000. He was completely blindsided. Part of the problem is reliability. Recalls keep piling up, infotainment systems fail randomly, and minor maintenance tasks become expensive headaches. Even the luxury badge can't offset buyers' fear once word spreads that these SUVs are constantly in the shop. And it only gets worse. Wait until you see number 7, where brand uncertainty and electrical nightmares combine to create an even more shocking financial disaster. At number 8, we have the 2025 Jaguar F-Pace, a vehicle that should feel premium, but instead leaves owners trapped with what mechanics call an orphan SUV. Jaguar announced that 2025 would be its last gas-powered F-Pace year, and suddenly owners are left with a car from a brand in retreat. One client told me he bought an F-Pace thinking it would hold value like a proper luxury SUV, only to discover that dealers barely had parts in stock and resale offers were shockingly low, nearly 56% down in just 3 years. Buyers feel stranded, anxious that maintenance or warranty support might vanish, and mechanics often see these cars with expensive electronic gremlins. The brand's pivot to electric left a real financial sting, and many regret taking the gamble. And if you think this is bad, wait until number 7, where you won't believe how fast depreciation hits the next SUV on our list. At number 7, we've got the 2025 Dodge Durango. Once a favorite for muscle SUV fans, it now suffers from brutal depreciation. Owners are losing nearly 60% of their investment in just a few years. The reason is simple. The platform is aging. Competitors have caught up with modern safety tech, hybrid efficiency, and updated interiors, while Dodge barely touched the core design. I remember a client who bought a fully loaded Durango for $62,000, expecting it to hold value like a proper V8 SUV. A year later, resale estimates came back around $25,600. He couldn't believe how fast reality crushed his expectations. The nostalgia of rear-wheel drive and towing capability can't protect buyers from a market that now favors tech, efficiency, and reliability. And if you think that's shocking, brace yourself for #6. This next one is a $90,000 SUV that now feels more like $40,000 on the resale market. Coming in at #6 is the 2025 Dodge Hornet, a vehicle that's left both buyers and mechanics scratching their heads. On paper, it's a compact SUV with sporty styling, but in reality, it suffers from a full-blown identity crisis. Rebadged from an Alfa Romeo Tonale, it doesn't feel like a true Dodge, yet it carries the muscle car badge. And that confusion is killing resale value. In just 3 years, owners are watching nearly 59% of their investment evaporate, with some losing more than $20,000 in under a year. Early reliability complaints compound the problem. Software glitches, electrical malfunctions, and constant recalls have left buyers frustrated and hesitant. Most people won't see this coming until it's too late, thinking they're getting a cool Dodge SUV when they're really holding a sinking financial asset. And if you think the Hornet is surprising, wait until #5. This next SUV is a $46,000 Italian dream that quickly turns into a nightmare. At #5, we have the 2025 Alfa Romeo Tonale, a compact SUV that looks stunning but hides a financial nightmare. Alfa Romeo bet on Italian styling and flair to attract American buyers, but low brand awareness and a tiny US dealership network means support is scarce and resale values are brutal. One client paid $46,000 for a Tonale, thinking the sleek design and premium badge would protect its value. A year later, a trade-in offer barely hit $19,700. He was completely shocked, and honestly, I wasn't surprised. These SUVs are plagued by recurring reliability complaints. Transmission delays, sensor glitches, and electronics failures are common, making buyers wary on the used market. And just when you think depreciation can't get worse, the top 4 SUVs on this list take the financial hit to an entirely new level. At number 4, we're looking at the 2025 Alfa Romeo Stelvio, a luxury SUV that seems perfect until you open the books. Gorgeous design, fun to drive, but its resale value is a nightmare. Owners are watching nearly 61% of their investment disappear within just 3 years. I had a customer who bought a Stelvio for $49,000 and went to auction a year later, only to see offers around $29,800. He couldn't believe it. $40,000 gone in the blink of an eye. Recalls, electronics issues, and limited dealership support make repairs a headache and scare off potential buyers. This SUV is a textbook example of why a premium badge doesn't equal financial security. And if you think losing half your investment is bad, wait until number 3. What happens next is unbelievable, and it makes even the Stelvio look tame in comparison. Coming in at number 3 is the 2025 Land Rover Range Rover. This is the SUV everyone expects to hold its value, with prestige, presence, and luxury all around. But the reality is brutal. In just 3 years, owners are losing nearly 68% of their investment. I had a client who purchased a new Range Rover for $105,000, only to see auction estimates drop to around $34,000 in less than 36 months. Recalls are relentless. Air suspension failures, transmission glitches, and electronics nightmares plague these vehicles, leaving owners frustrated and shocked. The luxury image might fool the casual buyer, but anyone who's dealt with one knows the maintenance costs are astronomical. And it doesn't stop here. The next 2 SUVs on our list are almost unrecognizable in the used market, with depreciation so extreme it's hard to believe until you see the numbers. At number 2, we're looking at the 2025 Maserati Grecale, a vehicle that proves even a luxury badge can't save you from financial disaster. Starting prices hover between $70,000 and $85,000, but owners are already watching nearly 72% of that investment vanish in just 3 years. The problem? Low demand, a tiny dealer network, and insanely complex electronics that fail faster than most buyers expect. One owner called me in disbelief. He bought a Grecale for $85,000, and after under 3 years, resale estimates were down to $25,000. The combination of exotic maintenance costs, unreliable components, and a brand struggling to maintain relevance makes this SUV nearly impossible to sell for anything close to what you paid. And if you think the Grecale is shocking, brace yourself for number 1, the absolute worst offender, where the losses are so extreme you'll question how anyone could have bought it at all. And finally, at number 1, the title of the most financially catastrophic SUV of 2026 goes to the 2025 Maserati Levante. This isn't just a luxury SUV, it's a nightmare in metal and leather. Starting prices soar above $90,000, yet in just 3 years, owners are watching more than 2/3 of their investment vanish. I had a client call me in sheer panic. He spent $95,000 on a Levante, and resale estimates barely topped $30,000. The recall list reads like a horror story. Electrical failures, software glitches, engine issues, and suspension malfunctions. Mechanically, these SUVs are incredibly complex, and even small repairs can run into the thousands. Dealers won't warn you, and few mechanics are willing to touch them without a hefty bill. The emotional toll on owners is real. People feel trapped, embarrassed, and financially crushed, realizing that the allure of a Ferrari-derived engine and Italian luxury doesn't translate to real-world value. If you see a Levante on a lot, my advice is simple: walk away. Even seasoned enthusiasts and mechanics steer clear, and for good reason. Buying this SUV is like throwing 6 figures into a dumpster and hoping for it to grow on trees. Don't make this mistake. you've been warned. Let's quickly recap the 10 SUVs that are destroying owners' finances in 2026. From the Buick Enclave to the Maserati Levante, the pattern is clear. High price, low demand, poor reliability, and tiny dealer networks create massive depreciation. Buyers chase style, luxury badges, or brand prestige, ignoring what actually matters: real-world reliability, maintenance costs, and resale potential. Mechanics see it every day. Someone overpays thinking they're buying security, only to be blindsided at trade-in or auction. The key takeaway? Always check actual 3-year resale trends, verify reliability reports, and don't fall for flashy redesigns or exotic branding. Knowing the true financial risk before signing papers can save you tens of thousands and keep you out of the same trap these 10 SUVs prove exists. If this video helped you avoid a financial disaster, hit that subscribe button and drop your own SUV horror stories in the comments. I read every single one. And don't miss what's coming next. We'll reveal the 5 SUVs mechanics secretly buy that never lose value, even after hundreds of thousands of miles. Stay smart, stay informed, and remember, insider knowledge is the difference between a wise purchase and a wallet-crushing mistake.